Hi everyone and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something super important in JavaScript, values. So, what are values? Think of them as pieces of information that our JavaScript programs can play with. They are the actual data that our code uses and changes. You can think of them as the things we give to our variables, the information we send to functions, and what functions give back to us. A really important thing to remember is that every single value in JavaScript has a type. This type tells us what kind of data it is and what cool things we can do with it. For example, if we have let age equals to 30, that number 30 is a value. It's a number. If we write let name equals to double quotation Alice, that double quotation Alice is a value. It's some text, or what we call a string. And if we say let is a student equals to true, true is a value. It's a simple yes or no, a boolean. Now, the thing is, in JavaScript, values are generally split into two main groups: primitive values and objects, which includes functions too. Let's look at primitive values first. These are the most basic building blocks of data. They are simple and can be broken down further. A key thing about primitive values is that they are immutable. That's a fancy word, meaning their actual value can be changed after they are created. Some common examples include numbers like 42 or 3.14 or even -10. Strings, which is just text like hello or world. Booleans, these are simple true or false values. Now, there are a few other primitive types. Undefined. This usually means a variable has been created, but we haven't given it a value yet. Null. This is when we intentionally say something has no value or is empty. Symbol. These are unique and special values, often used in more advanced ways with objects. Big int. This is for really, really big whole numbers. And don't worry, we'll dive much deeper into null, undefined, symbol, and big int as we go further in the course. We'll make sure you understand them perfectly. Next up, we have objects. And remember, functions are a special kind of object too. These are more complex. They can hold collections of other values, which we call properties, or even actions they can perform, which we call methods. Unlike primitives, objects are mutable. This means we can change their properties after they've been created. Examples include a plain object, or an array, a function, and there are others too, like date for working with dates and regular expressions for pattern matching. We'll be spending a lot of time exploring object types in detail later on, so you'll get very comfortable with them. Finally, how do we actually see these values when we're coding? Programs need a way to show or output information. In JavaScript, a very common way is using console.log. This command lets us display values and messages in a special area, usually in your web browser, called the developer console. It's super handy for checking what your code is doing. So that's a quick introduction to values in JavaScript. We've seen they're the basic information our programs work with, and they fall into primitive or object categories. And just a reminder, we'll be thoroughly covering null, undefined, symbol, big int, and all the different object types in upcoming lessons. And you'll become a pro with all of them. So let's try to display a couple of values. So let's open the course files folder and drag the variables folder into the VS Code icon. Go ahead and type this into your JavaScript file. So I write this console.log single quote Jupyter semicolon. When you run this, you should see the word Jupyter appear in your console. The text Jupyter enclosed in those single quotes is a string value. Now, let's try it with a number. I write console.log 588 semicolon. This time, you'll see the number 588, perhaps distance to star in light years. Just an example. This 588 is a numeric value. Simple, right? These are values. Now imagine you have a piece of data, a value, that you want to use multiple times in your program, or you want to give it a clear, memorable name. This is where variables come into play. A variable is like a labeled storage container or a box where you can keep a value. You give the container a name, the variable name, and inside it you place your data, the value. Think of it like this. You find a cool rock, that's your value, okay? You decide to keep it in a small box. And on that box, you stick a label that says, My Cool Rock. The box is the variable. My Cool Rock is its name. And the rock itself is the value stored inside. To create or declare a variable in modern JavaScript, we often use the keyword let. Here's how you do it. Let is our keyword, and variable name is your chosen name. Then assignment operator or equal sign. After that, we write our value, the data we want to store. Let's create a variable to store the name of a planet. So I write let current planet equal sign single quotation. Then I write Earth and semicolon. In this line, let tells JavaScript we want to create a new variable. Current planet is the name we've chosen for our variable, our label for the box. An equal sign is the assignment operator. It takes the value on its right and it stores it into the variable on its left. Earth is the string value we are storing in our current planet variable. Now that we've stored Earth in the current planet variable, how can we see what's inside? We use console.log again, but this time we give it the variable's name. So I write console.log, and inside the parentheses, the name of the variable, current planet, semicolon. When this code runs, JavaScript sees current planet, looks up what value is stored in that box, finds Earth, and displays it. You should see Earth in your console. One of the main reasons variables are so useful is reusability. You can use the variable name many times in your code. Let's say we want to display the planet's name 3 times. So I copy and paste it 3 times. Each line will output Earth. Now here's the really cool part. What if we want to change the planet? If we hadn't used a variable, we'd have to find every place we type Earth and change it. But with a variable, We only need to change the value in one place. Let's update our current planet to Mars. So I write current planet equal sign to Mars. Notice we didn't use lit this time. Why? Because the variable current planet already exists. We created it earlier. Now we're just assigning a new value to that existing variable. If we now log current planet again, so I just write again console.log current planet semicolon. This time it will display Mars. Any subsequent use of current planet will now refer to Mars until we change it again. This makes your code much easier to manage and update. When you're choosing names for your variables, there are some established conventions and some strict rules you must follow. First, a very popular naming convention in the JavaScript community is camelCase. If your variable name consists of multiple words, you write the first word in all lowercase, and then capitalize the first letter of each subsequent word. No spaces. It looks a bit like the humps of a camel, hence the name. Examples are like star name, distance in light years, has life been found, and so on. Let's create a camelCase variable. I write let galaxy name discovered equal sign single quote Andromeda semicolon. See how galaxy is lowercase but name and discovered start with an uppercase letter. This style is widely used because it makes variable names quite readable. While other styles like galaxy underscore name underscore discovered, often called snake case, are technically allowed, but camel case is the standard for JavaScript variables. It's a good idea to get used to it. JavaScript has some firm rules for what variable names are allowed. You cannot start with a number. A variable name must begin with a letter or an underscore or a dollar sign. So this is not allowed. I write let first galaxy equal sign single quote Milky Way semicolon. Your code editor might even highlight this as a problem immediately. If you try to run it, you'd get a syntax error, which means there's a mistake in the structure of your JavaScript code. And the next rule is can only contain letters, numbers, underscores, or dollar sign. You can't use spaces, hyphens, or other special characters like ampersand, asterisk, or anything else in your variable names. Just like this. Let my hyphen planet Venus semicolon. This is not allowed. And next, let star dollar sign value equal sign 100 semicolon. This is possible because dollar sign is allowed. And also let underscore system name equal sign and single quotation solar system. semicolon. And again, this underscore is allowed. Another one, let number underscore of underscore stars equal sign. I don't know, maybe this number. This is perfectly valid. Dollar signs are also allowed, like dollar price. But they are sometimes used for specific purposes in certain libraries or frameworks. Usually, you'll start your variable names with the letter. And next rule is cannot use reserved keywords. JavaScript has a set of reserved keywords that have special meanings in the language. You cannot use these words as your variable names. Examples of keywords include let, const, var, function, if, else, for, while, return, true, false, null, and so on. So this is not allowed. I write let equal sign, single quote, some data, semicolon. You see, it gives an error. Let is a keyword, so you cannot use it. And let true equal sign, false information. And again, true is a keyword, so you cannot use it. If you encounter a situation where you feel a keyword would be a descriptive name, you'd have to choose a variation, perhaps, by adding a word to it, like is let statement instead of let, or less commonly, prefixing with an underscore. Generally, it's better to find a synonym or a more descriptive name. A next rule is be careful with the name. While sometimes technically allowed, using just name as a variable name can occasionally lead to conflicts or unexpected behavior because name has a special meaning in the context of browser windows. It's safer and clearer to use more specific names like username or planet name or employee name. Beyond the strict rules, here are some best practices that will make your code cleaner, more understandable, and easier to work with. Start variable names with the lowercase letter. As we saw with camelCase, standard variables should begin with the lowercase letter. So I write let star temperature equal 5500 semicolon. This is good. But see next, let uppercase star temperature equal sign 5500 semicolon. Starting a name with an uppercase letter like start temperature is a convention usually reserved for special constructs like classes or constructor functions, which are more advanced concepts you'll learn about later. So, for everyday variables, stick to lowercase for the first letter. Next best practice is use all caps for constants, values that never change. If you have a value that you know will never change throughout your program, a constant, the convention is to write its variable name in all uppercase letters, with underscores separating words. For example, the value of pi is constant. So see, I write let pi underscore value equals to 3.14159 whatever semicolon. You see, all caps. Next, I write let days underscore in underscore week equals to 7 semicolon. This naming style signals to anyone reading the code that this variable presents a constant and its value shouldn't be altered. Later, you'll learn about the const keyword, which is used to declare variables whose values truly cannot be reassigned. And this naming convention is often used with const. And the last best practice, make your variable names descriptive and meaningful. This is perhaps the most important best practice. Choose names that clearly indicate what the variable is for or what kind of data it holds. So, compare these are bad examples. I'm gonna write let x equals to single quotation Kepler 18 6f semicolon. And next, let t equals to true semicolon. And these are good examples. I write let exoplanet designation equals to single quote Kepler 18 6f semicolon. And next one, let is potentially habitable equals to true semicolon. Which set is easier to understand? The second one, of course. While X and T are shorter to type, exoplanet designation and is potentially habitable make your code self-documenting. When you or someone else reads your code weeks or months later, clear variable names will be incredibly helpful. Don't be afraid to use longer descriptive names. It's worth it. Alright, understanding values and variables is crucial because they are the foundation upon which all your JavaScript programs will be built. Keep practicing creating variables, assigning them different types of values, and logging them to the console. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. And thanks for joining me today. I hope this was clear and helpful. See you in the next lesson where we'll explore more exciting JavaScript features. Happy coding!